This is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back today to record another live tarot reading for you guys. Today, I'm really focusing on the energy for October, but this could also bleed a little bit into November. And for those of you who watch, things might resonate in this time. There might be synchronicities to things that are going on with you right now. But I'm going to remind everybody that when I read for, if I'm specifically reading for October, then if things don't resonate yet, that's because things haven't happened yet. And, it's very important for people to remember that, things are fluid, but also the way it works is it's, if I'm looking at future energies, then there's a very strong chance you're not going to resonate. And that's the way it's supposed to be. So, there's a lot of readers out there that are like, take what resonates, but that's not what I'm here for. That's not what I believe, the whole point of a horoscope or the whole point of a reading is all about. So I just wanted to let everybody know that doesn't look like anybody's in the chat quite yet. There may be a lot of people that are going to be watching later. So before I begin, I just want to let everybody know that I am still partnering with Jackery. There's a lot of stuff going on with power outages and shortages. So please, especially in California. So now is a good time to invest in a solar power generator. I really like their product, and the affiliate link is going to be below this video if you want to check that out. They're a little bit pricey, but I think it's worth the investment. That being said, I'm also offering private readings. So for those of you who want to get a private reading, you can book a private reading with me through my website, oracledaphne.com. And I am also accepting donations. All donations are seriously appreciated at this time. There's a lot of stuff going on with inflation right now, which affects everybody. And I have lowered my prices, so it's affordable. It's only $65 for 30 minutes, and I do offer split payments on both of those. So that's what's going on. I am gonna just pull some cards and see what I get here. I feel like actually the month of October is going to bring a lot of people more stability. If you haven't had very much stability, or if things have been kind of like wonky or up in the air for a while, then, this is going to actually be very good news. There's a lot of stability coming in for you. We have this Eight of Swords in reverse coming up, which is interesting. Maybe middle of October, you're going to be feeling like you want to break free from something. Maybe break free from a relationship, or break free from, I don't know, anything that kind of holds you back. I'm getting a tingle on that. So some of you may feel restricted in some way, and there's a feeling of wanting to break free and break out of that. Anything that's held you back, whether it's outside of your control, or maybe it's, for some of you, self-limiting beliefs or self-limiting situations, where you say, well, I can't do that, and I don't want to do that. It's like, to me, the element of the pickiness is going away, because, we're not going to be in the sun Virgo anymore, and there's an element of wanting to break free from something and get out of something. Some of you, it's a relationship. Some of you are just basically, if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, you're breaking up. Some of you, it's a friendship. parting ways with a friend. This could be guy or girl. This could be male female friends, female friends. Those of you who date women and you're a woman, that's also breakup there. Okay. Some of you may feel like middle of October that there's not a lot of support. And there's this element of like, I don't know, getting swept away, getting swept up into something. I wrote this in my journal the other day, that sometimes in relationships, we do things that we would otherwise choose. And I want you to rewind, go back and listen to that again, because it's very key here. The element of the energy of Libra is very much about making a decision and then regretting it. Going back and thinking, well, I should have done something different. I've never really met a Libra that makes a decision that actually is happy with their decision, unless they've learned the hard way. They've learned how to make decisions. They've learned some of the principles of good decision making. And I did a video about good decision making a long time ago, and I think I'm going to link it because it's so endearing, like, to me. And I have had clients that I've sent them on homework assignments to practice good decision making. It's an exercise in good decision making. So, the thing about it is that, and I want to say something here too. This is important. This is not a time to let other people tell you what's best for you, or this is not a time to hold up your decisions to the world and say, what do you think? Because honestly, it's nobody else's business to judge you or to say, well, that was a bad decision, or it's nobody else's business or right to tell you how to live your life. Like, everybody has their own way of, or wants to live their life in their own way. And we learn about life by scraping our knee. We learn about life by falling down. We learn about life by effing it up. We learn about life by, calling a customer service line, them saying they're going to do something, and then it doesn't get done, and then that leaves your checking account bounced. That's the things that we learn about life. That's the thing, and it's nobody else's business. There's this hyper focus coming into Libra from the Virgo about the perfect life, how to live the perfect life, and what not to do, what to do, and it's just don't let anybody tell you. It's hard. Okay, so this is what I say to people. It's really hard when you're in a relationship to make good decisions because you're blind, because you're in love, generally speaking, or you're blind to things just because you're so close to it. Even psychics, even myself, I've been taken advantage of. Why? In the past, people have cheated on me. Why? Because I'm so close to it. I can't see it. Nobody can see it. So when you're really in something, it's really hard to see things. So the thing about this situation, for those of you who are dating or in relationships, or there's two main elements here. Middle of October, one is this feeling of wanting to get out of something, to break up with someone, or to break away from a situation that's no longer working. And then there's this feeling of maybe being judged by other people if you should do so, or maybe someone in your family saying, well, you're blah 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 and you're blah blah blah, and that's, none of that's true. We all make decisions in relationships that we would otherwise choose later in time. We look back at our relationships and we say, why did we do that? Why did we date this person? Why did we date that person? Why did I stay with them for so long? We look back. And I will tell you that I've had some very close friends that are like cling on to things and situations for so long. And even them, after they've broken up, have looked back and said to me that they were in it for so long and they couldn't see it until after the fact. So again, we make decisions that we would otherwise choose when we're in a relationship. And this is the lesson for Libra. This is the lesson for like everybody actually, because we could easily say, well, why is she with that person? You know, or why is he with that person? It makes no sense to us. But when you're in a relationship, you decide to stay, you decide to go, or you decide this and that and the other because, you know, because of X, Y, and Z. And you can't really, and sometimes you get swept up, you get swept away and swept up in what other people want. You know, there's this whole thing about willpower. You know, there are some people that have very strong willpower that are very manipulative, very controlling. It's very easy to say yes when you really want to say no to somebody like that, because they, you know, for whatever reason, it's like they have a very strong influence. The Page of Wands in reverse is also not standing your ground, not standing up for what you believe, not speaking up or speaking out, and letting somebody else make your decisions for you. And see, this is again another lesson for October for Libra. Hang on just one second. Sorry, I saw something come through and I had to check it. So where was I? There's a couple of things that concern me about the end of October. And the end of October has always been a very interesting time for me personally. There were 2 years in a row where I was specifically moving on October 31st. Actually, I think it was 3 years. 3 years. 2 years in a row in Ellensburg. And then one move specifically to Omaha. So that's 3. And if I look back, maybe many of my moves at that time. The thing about the Libra is kind of a catalyst for, I'm so sorry, there's a truck pulling up here. It's a kind of a catalyst for, for what comes later. It's kind of a catalyst time. I would strongly encourage you to, listen to red flags about things. Listen to your intuition very carefully. Very, very carefully. I feel like there's 2 ways that things can go for those of you who are watching towards the end of October. The end of October is, to me, going to be an eye-opening experience in which it might test you physically, it might test you emotionally, and it's going to affect, there is something happening towards the end of October that's going to affect your family or going to affect your community. So this could be natural disaster type stuff. This could be, I got a tingle when I said the word family. So something major happening in October that affects your family. To me, this is like a lot of people, okay, let's just say a lot of people have like blended families, you know, or a lot of people live kind of under one roof or are connected to some person. This is where it's like if you have dependents or people that live with you that are dependent on you, this is where they are going to be affected. To me, this is a divorce that affects the whole, like any dependents. So like say you have dependents that live with you, they're going to have to move. You're going to have to move, they're going to have to move, or it's just going to affect them in some way. Those of you who are in marriage type situations, I would strongly recommend towards the end of October or even the middle of October, really, really taking good care of your health, getting a lot of sleep. And this goes for everybody, okay? This is general energy showing up here. So this is not just specific to one person. And I will say that I mentioned this in my other live reading, and I'm going to say it here, that I am no longer, okay, going to cater to this over specific, needy, type person that watches my channel that only wants to know what's going to happen to them, because that's not who I am anymore. I turned 40 this year. I've gone pretty badass, I have to say, and I've been through a lot of shit this year, and I'm not going to tolerate it. Everybody needs to get their head out of their butt, because there's some things that are coming in October that are going to affect more than just you. This is going to affect, most likely, multiple people in your family if you're going through any kind of divorce at that time. Or a situation that happens that affects your family in general. And collectively, there's something here about, the Hanged Man in reverse. The Hanged Man in reverse is not being well, is kind of holding on for way too long and things not working. And in some way, it was like 6 months into my unemployment situation, and I was like, what's going on here? I've been hanging on for a really long time. I've been getting by for so long. I've been trying to scrape by, and it's like nothing really coming through. And that to me is the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is where you hang on for way too long. And I became very exhausted during this period of time. And I was like, I'm just burnt out of doing the same, searches over and over again and not making any progress. I mean, the Hanged Man is no progress for an extended period of time. So, the thing about this is that I don't know whether this is eclipse stuff that's going to be affecting this, or whether this is just the stuff that's coming through for October for the collective. But I would strongly recommend every single person that is watching, double up on your vitamin C, double up on your vitamin D drops, double up on all your elderberry, syrup, tincture. If some of you do chewables, that's great. Whatever it is that you do, double it, okay? Double down on making sure you are eating a green leafy salad every single freaking fucking day. And I don't care if you add in beans that you make yourself or a can of beans. It's not going to matter. You're going to need to up your game as far as your health, because maybe, there are things that want to come out of my mouth about what I said about there being a round 2. And I don't like this at all. But let's just say hypothetically there isn't a round 2. You still need to make sure you are taking really good care of yourself and eating your salad every day and juicing and having supplementing with superfoods like chlorella and spirulina and kale powder and super fruits that have extra vitamin C, making a smoothie with that stuff. This is where, if you do not take care of your health, you are going to be SOL. And that is not what I want to see for my clients. That is not what I want to see for the planet. And that is not what I want to see for in general for October. I also think, and I'm just going to say this here, that there are people that are going to be not eating. To me, the Hanged Man is not sleeping, is not eating. This could be, someone who is in the hospital that's on oxygen, or someone who's on hospice. This could be someone who's barely hanging on in your family as well. That's the outcome. So maybe there's someone that's you've got this. Maybe you get a text message for someone. This could actually be, and I hate to say this, an accident that happens to someone in your family, and then they go, and I'm going to tangle on that. Someone some kind of oxygen situation or life support situation. I'm now just seeing this too. And I'm getting a tingle on this. So this is like a life support thing, and they go in. And this may or may not be bug related, okay? This to me most likely has to do with some kind of like car accident, and they got to go in and they're on life support. And maybe you get a text message, from the authorities that says, you got to come down here. We've got this person, they're related to you. A phone call or something. You might receive a text message from someone that says, there's been a major accident and something has happened, and they have gone into the hospital and they are on life support. Maybe they have major brain damage, or maybe they have, for whatever, multiple injuries. For some of you, they are on oxygen and they're barely, alive. I don't like to see this. This is very sensitive stuff, guys, and I want you to know that I'm very cognizant about even channeling this. I don't even like to channel this stuff. But, I'm getting a tingle on things, so maybe this is, what's happening. And I think there's really no way to prepare. Okay, so I want to talk about the Tower in reverse for just a second. The Tower in reverse in my deck, okay, in my experience, is where it's one level above what happens with the Tower. So what happens with the Tower in the upright is something major happens, or you get into a major argument, right, or something unexpected. The Tower reverse, it's not just about you. It affects everybody, or it affects a lot of people. So, and this is where, you get red flags, you're not listening. The fire alarm goes off, you're not listening. Everybody needs to wake up in October. You get a red flag, get out of wherever you are in. Okay, if you're in a city area, get out. I would not do any kind of things where there's large crowds. Going into politics too hard. Things like that. I would avoid that altogether. Things to avoid would be drinking and driving. Things to avoid would be not listening to your intuition. If you have you get the hairs on the back of your neck, you feel like, oh my God, I got to get out of here. Something's happening. Then absolutely it's time to leave. It's so weird that I'm saying this. Because, and my guide is showing me, like, there was a time in which I felt like unsafe where I lived and I had to leave. I feel like for most of you, that's not the situation. There might be someone who's watching where, maybe they need to. I'm not getting a tingle on that, so most likely that's not the case, but it's kind of like the overall message is clear, where you need to be very alert and awake and what's going on and where your surroundings are for October. Most likely, this is a situation that could be you, or this could be somebody that because the Tower reverse does affect more than one person, by like a catalyst type of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a family member that this happened to, but it could be you. So when you are driving, okay, I want you to be very, very alert, very, very, like, my dad always said, it's not you that I'm worried about. He would be like, it's other people. And I have to say that there's a lot of like energy about like that has to do like a kinetic kind of energy. It could be from solar storms. It could just be the energy of people in general. Everybody's a little bit hangry. And maybe people aren't eating. You know, the thing is that the whole inflation thing does affect what people are eating, which then does affect their mood and their overall perspective on life. And it's bad when people are not eating enough. People can trip out. You know, to me, this is like tripping out on someone really freaking hard. Like if this is like tripping out, this is like really hard trip out. Okay. Someone goes really, really far out. But I don't think that's going to be the case for most people. It could be where someone really, really hard out on you about some stuff. It would have to be like, because this is like you know, it was in the position of attitude. So this is like how you feel and your perspective and being more than just upset. This is collective. Okay. I want to kind of step back from this a little bit to see if things come through a little bit more in a little bit. Or maybe, you know, you're waiting on an ex to contact you. Some of you are looking for love. I definitely feel like you're looking for love. Some of you are going to be moving on from someone that, you know, you're no longer in a relationship to. There are multiple partners here showing up. We got the Two of Cups, the Ten of Cups, and the Lovers, which tells me that there's a lot of different scenarios for October for relationships. Some of you, you're going through a really messy divorce. It's real bad. Some of you, the thing with the Tower is affecting like a parent, or affecting a spouse. The you know, the energy of the Two of Cups to me is having, you know, the house with the kids, and you know, working on a relationship. And some of you are in a healthy relationship, that are like maybe trying to get pregnant, or you know, you've been in a partnership that's like, you know, you've been working on it. I feel like you're going to become stronger. Like you're going to become like a stronger pair or a stronger unit, or you're going to take your relationship to the next level. Maybe potentially get engaged, move in together, you know, plan a wedding. You know, for some of you, it's, you know, planning a move. You know, your relationship and kind of taking things to the next level. I do see that for the Ten of Cups is kind of like this wild card that I don't really know how it's going to apply to you, in the sense that, like, those of you who are watching, to me it's sort of like, you know, we get the Death card following it. So it's like either you have the hots for somebody really bad, or this is so funny because this happened to me yesterday. Like, I was at the store, and this is kind of embarrassing, so if I blush, this is why. So I was at the store, and I like met this really hot guy who's probably like 10 years too young for me, like maybe 20 years too young for me. I don't know what I was saying or like why I was talking to him. But like it was like a hormonal thing. It's a hormonal reaction to someone. So like you might, this is the only thing that's going through. You might meet someone that's really good looking and have, like have a few sparks, or feel like very attracted to someone, or someone might feel really attracted to you. That you're unexpected, it's unexpected. To me, it's, there is something that's getting transformed with your sex life. Maybe it's dating, having sex with, more than one person. There are multiple knights showing up. We have the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and the King of Wands. So there's a lot of fire energy here, a lot of passion, but it doesn't necessarily mean like any of those relationships are going to lead to marriage or going to partnership. I feel like the people that are in a relationship already, that are watching, that's healthy, and I want to say healthy, that maybe like a 2-year relationship, 3-year relationship, 4-year, and things are going to be, getting tighter there. But I feel like for the people that are like dating, not sleeping around, but like I don't want to say sleeping around, but like dating multiple people, it feels like, you might have some sparks with more than one person, and it might be unexpected. It might come out of nowhere, and you might wonder where any of those are going to lead. And I don't feel like those are going to lead to anything. Honestly, I don't feel like they're going to lead to anything. I feel like you're going to be, still like, what's going on with my love life? Or, some of you have been in some kind of long-term relationship that's kind of reached its ending, or going to be reaching its ending. There's this 3 of Wands showing up, and to me this is like wondering what comes next. This is like, having reached your kind of natural end for a relationship. And it's really hard, I think, for people to get to that point of starting over, because there's a strong element, towards the end of October, where many of you are going to be thinking about what comes next and starting over. And starting over in the sense of, maybe it's a career that you want to exit, or a contract that's ending, or a lease that's ending, where, you see the end in sight for something, and you're like, I don't really know what comes next. And some of you, the end has been in sight for like a marriage for like the last 10 years. But nobody has done anything. And the thing about the 3 of Wands is that, people can sit on the fence for that for a long time. And that doesn't really, and then they contact me and they wonder if they're going to meet somebody new, but they've been sitting on the fence. They haven't done anything. So I feel like, the funny thing is the sun is going to be in Libra for October. And, up until we go into the sign of Scorpio. So the element of transformation is there, but this element of decision making, making healthy decisions, starting fresh in something new, brand spanking new, without recycling anything, without going back too much into the past too hard, without waiting for anybody to come back. This is where, you have to say, okay, this is what comes next for me, because this is what I want. And determining what you want and making a decision on it and making a plan and following through, that's all very Libra. It's very important that happen. Or at least, you think about that happening. Some of you are going to get a very good job. I'm seeing a very good job, very well-paying job. You might not be expecting to get paid so much, like with the job. I don't know. I feel like career-wise, some of you are going to be like, this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. And you see the end in sight. You go, okay, this is not what I want to be doing. And you kind of make a plan. Maybe some of you are like, I really want to go back to school, or, take an accounting class. My dad would always say, you got to take an accounting class or something. Yeah. I'm going to see if there's anything else that really wants to come through, but I think this is where I want to leave it, actually. The element, going, I said before about the element of stability, is showing up twice. And letting go of the old. Letting go of the old is showing up. That's the element of the Scorpio that's going to come at the end of October. Making smart decisions is coming through in October. Being strategic about things. Allowing things to come to you. And there's the thing about beating the odds and feeling like you're winning. To me, that's also coming through. Yeah, you might feel, despite any chaos that may happen in October, you might feel like at times that you are winning. And I do like to see that for my viewers and for people that I read for. So on that note, I'm gonna leave off here. Thank you guys so much for listening and subscribing, and definitely give me a thumbs up. It helps my channel so much. Definitely say anything in the comments. Obviously be very kind. Try to be kind to me. I've been through a lot this year, but feedback in the comments is appreciated. Maybe come back later in October, rewatch, and let me know, if things do come to pass and how that works out. And I hope everybody, has a very safe October, and that they are well and that their families are well. And I do wish everybody well. Everybody needs to hear me say that. And yeah, just keep your eyes peeled. And I send everyone big hugs, big kisses. I'll talk to you guys again soon. All right, take care. All the best. Bye.